Hello friends, this is Sandy from Doux Designs. Tonight we're going to get crafty with several companies' products, the Ton, Sassy Club, and Doux Designs. It's a collaboration night. I am very excited to do this project tonight. I don't know why I'm so excited, but we are going to first color our kitten from the Curious Kittens. So these are our Curious Kittens, and tonight we're going to color this one on the bottom, this Sassy Pants. I love this. This is the one I call Sassy Pants, with the little diamond around her neck. I just think she is so adorable. And I'm also gonna grab some like Wink of Stella, I think. Wink of Stella, because we're gonna need to bling up that little diamond on there. Hey Rebecca, hey Barbara. We have some great stuff tonight. So we are going to work with the postage stamp. We're going to work with these flowers, but clearly you see all my tape on there because we're going to manipulate it so that we can make this into a Halloween card. So I know this stuff doesn't look Halloween, but I'm telling you, it's going to be Halloween. Hey Beth, I like to use my supplies for more than one occasion. I like them to be useful for a lot of things. So tonight I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this beautiful sunflowers and postage stamp for a Halloween card. So it's going to be super fun. And since we're going to have a lot of technique going on, we're going to go ahead and get started here in just a second. I've decided to use these webs and spiders from the Borders stamp set at the Sassy Club. Spiders down here. And you'll see how we're going to do that, but that will come later on. We will color first this adorable little kitten, and then we will work with these two next, and last will be the stamp set. So let's go ahead and get rolling. I just love these stamps. They're so cute. Hello, Meg. Hello, everyone. It is I'm so happy to see you guys here. Okay, I wanted to zoom in far enough so you can really see what I'm doing because, you know, this kitty, I don't want her to be too small for you guys to be able to follow along. So let me straighten out my camera. So I want her to be gray but light gray. So we're gonna go with N4, 3, 2, and 0. And then we're gonna use R00 for inside her little ears and on her pink nose. And then I have the colorless blender pulled out. And since my colors that I'm gonna be using tonight are going to be, yes, Sassy Club still has that set, and I have an affiliate link I can post in this after we finish our live, unless you already have it. We're going to use the G's for the eyes, and we're going to use the purple for the collar around her neck, and then we're going to bling her diamond. Yes, they still have this set. I looked, unless they sold it in the last 2 days, because I looked the other day because they just had a new release. She did the Jetsons and some Dollhouse and Polly Pocket and some different things like that. So she just had a release. Oh, and K-pop. So if you're into that, you might want to check that out. I'm not into the K-pop Demon Hunters, but you know I am married to a cosplayer and they like that anime stuff. So yeah, even my husband likes it. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. I want her to be very fluffy, but almost white, a little bit of gray. So I'm going to start with N4. And yeah, I'll put the links for, well, I don't have an affiliate link for the ton, but I'll show you the backs of them as we do them, so you'll be able to see what the website is, so you can find it easily. I'm going to do up here by the sides of the ears on both of them. I'm just going to get the shadow part, like where I want the accent shadow part. I don't want a whole lot going down the side of the face just yet. We'll do a lot more of that with a lighter color. But I am going to do just the edges around where I put that dark, so it kind of all makes sense. Sure, you're welcome. Anytime, anytime. And then down here at the bottom, because she is so fluffy, I'm just going to start a little bit of that fluff going on right here. Now she's going to have more of a texture. You'll be able to see some of the lines in her for the fur, unlike what we did with the other cat that we colored. So you'll get fur a little bit more with this one. So starting here around the neck, where since she is an adorable, healthy kitten, we're going to put just a few of these brush strokes going down from the collar. So this is just the start of it. The start of all of that, that fur. So we're just putting the basis in there. And sometimes when I do fur this light, I have to go back in later and like add a few more of those brush strokes at the end. But we'll just see how well they make it, how well they weather the storm here. I'm also going to add a little bit on this little bit of fluff right here, because we'll want a little bit of that accented as well. I'm also going to do a little one right there, even though there's not, technically not an artist drawn line there. It still dips up like there's a bit of a curve in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put some in there behind that fur. And really, it doesn't matter exactly where you put those lines. You can put them anywhere that you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then underneath that big row of fur, I'm going to work on just directly below that, putting some dark right there. And then this part is not only below the fur, but it's also behind the hands. So just kind of color that all in with this color. And then because I'm doing these at an angle, I'm going to start over here and work my way in so I can start angling those brush strokes towards the inside of the kitten. Just like that. And then she has a little bit of a bend right here for where her chubby little legs meet up with her little paws. And we're going to put just a little bit of dark there as well. So just right here, and then right here as well. And then I'm just going to leave the feet alone for right now. And the fluffy tail, I'm just going to go all the way around. And I'm going to turn the kitten as I go so I can keep those going in the angle around the cat. So I kind of want those to stay like that. And then I'm going to come in from this inside part right here and start meeting up with those brush strokes I already put. So we have a little bit coming from the inside and a little bit coming from the outside, just to make sure that we have like a whole lot of fluff going on there. Now I'm going to come in here, and just so that her little nose, when we make it pink, will stand out, I'm going to put a bit of shadow under the nose. It will help that nose just pop out a little bit more. My light's really bright tonight. Hold on, let me shift it just a little bit and maybe you'll be able to see it better. There we go. So the weird part about it is I put this video on my television set so I can see your comments while I'm working. And with the light from the television set and the light from the actual light, it gets too bright in here, so I have to turn it down for the camera, but then it's kind of dark and I have to look really close when I'm working on the project, so it's like a double-edged sword, sort of, for me. Okay, so that's all I'm going to put in there of the N4, and now I'm going to move this to this side so that I'm not blocking that in shadow, and then N3 is going to be the next one. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to just extend from where we put that last color. For the ears, I'm going to go almost all the way to the top because I want them to have color in them. And then for around the face, I'm going to want that face to have a lot of fluff to it. So I'm going to want to go, I'm going to sort of use this as my centerpiece and make my fluff come all the way around the face like this. So at least you'll understand what I'm doing like before I do it, so that you can know where I'm going with it. In case you're coloring with me, I want you to be able to follow along. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to make some brush strokes in, and I'm not going to put them side by side. They're going to be a little bit random, and what's going to happen is that when we come in with the next color, we'll go in between those and start filling them in. So for now, it's going to look a little funny, but don't worry, it will fix before it's over. So I'm going to turn my image so that I can keep my brush strokes all going towards the center where the mouth is. Now we already started some down here, so I'm just going to start curving those up a little bit more so that we can kind of get those going in the same direction. And now I'm going to go down the other side and do the same thing. And if you happen to get one too close, don't worry, it's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as you're getting the color in there and keeping it in the angle of the kitten. So as long as you have that going on, you're in good shape. Now I want this little part in here is going to be lighter. So I'm just going to do a little bit of around that outer edge of that, and then I'm going to come down a little bit from where I put that other color, and then I'm going to do a few of these brush strokes right underneath the mouth and the nose, or whatever you want to call that, the little cheeks or whatever. I'm going to do a couple up from the nose to meet up with those artist drawn lines right there, and that should give us the basic. Oh, thanks. I love this one. This is one of my favorites. And I say that every time I color one because I just like coloring them. But I really like this one. I think because she's frou-frou and it makes me laugh. So I'm putting in additional brush strokes, but I'm trying to put them in between where the other ones, and then I'm extending them underneath this diamond shape. So keeping them going until I lift my marker off the paper will make it look like a long brush stroke. And I want it to be a long brush stroke. They need to start meeting up because our colors are going to get really light after this. These are the only two we have for any shadow or anything. Oop, there we go. I got to get it back on camera. Flipping it around so much you guys can see. It moves. Then I'm going to do a little bit up from the bottom, and we're going to do the same thing with this one, and a little bit up from the bottom. The more you think about it, the harder it is going to be to do your brush strokes. So if you're practicing your brush strokes, just do them. Don't think about them. The more you think about where you're putting it and what you're doing, the harder it's going to be to do it. So once you get used to using your markers, you just start putting those brush strokes down. They'll work out in the end. So no worries. This time I'm going to start from the inside and work my way out. And then I'm going to turn her completely upside down and start from this direction. And again, we are trying to go in between the last ones, but if you don't get that perfected, don't worry, it's okay. So we have a little bit of fluff going on. Now we need to start on the paws. So I'm going to do around the base of the paws and the in between the toes, or whatever they call them, paws, toes, you know what I'm talking about, claws, I don't know, like a Sandy Claus. You can use this one for Christmas too. See, I'm about to show you how to use it for Halloween, but hey, you can use it for anything. Anything. Imagine how cute this cat would be in front of a fireplace. How cute would that be? This little frou-frou waiting for her Christmas presents, all snooty and everything. R00 is where we're going to put the pink in the ears. I'm feeling a little sassy tonight myself, can you tell? And I'm going to put it on in both ears. This is a very light pink, but it needs to be because she's going to be kind of a white cat. So that little pink, little bit of pink, it's real light. If we need to make it darker, we certainly can, but we are good with it being this color for right now. So next I'm going to take my N2 and I'm walking these down in order until I get to this one, and then we'll skip to N0, but pretty much just one level lower. So I'm going to finish the tops of the ears with this one, and I'm going to start putting some just inside the ears as well. Kind of meeting up with that pink I put in there. And doing the tops of my ears. Now we're going to do that same thing we did before, trying to go in between anywhere where there is, where it doesn't meet up, because we don't want to leave any outside undone right now. But don't worry if you have some on the inside. We have one more color, so we're good. But we definitely don't want to leave any edges on the outside undone. So we just want to make sure that we get a lot of this filled in. And then anything left, we'll finish with the last color. It's what's going to smooth it out and make it look a little softer. Right now we're just getting the color in there, but the softer will happen with the next one, with the next color. Now I'm going to fill in more of this, still leaving a little bit of a white spot in the center. Now we're going to do this one, just trying to touch only where it's white. Not trying to go over or blend or anything like that. Just touch the areas that are white and get a little bit of this gray in there. So sometimes I'll touch 2 or 3 times, and sometimes I'll skip a space. If it doesn't have white, it doesn't need this color on it. This time I'm going to go from the bottom because I filled in most of the top of the feet, and the bottom is where the white part is. So I'm just going to go from the bottom up, just on the legs. And then I'm going to fill in most of the feet, softening those colors and kind of getting it kind of colored in. Leaving just a little bit on the top of the paws for the last color. The tail, just going to touch where the whites are, just like we did with the rest of the cat. There we go. So that was pretty easy, but look at all that fur. You can already see all that fur showing up. Love it. Love it, love it. Okay, the last color we have, and if we need it, I have the colorless blender pulled out too. I don't think we'll need it, but if we do, we have it handy. N0 is the last color. I skipped N1. I'm going to go over top of the pink to soften that up a little bit and meet up the outside of the gray with the pink. And now we have this nice fill of pink in the ears. Now, I'm going to use the side of my marker now for really light pressure and I'm going from top to bottom. I want to catch anything that doesn't have any color in it, but you do not want to hold your marker on the paper very long, or you're going to put too much ink on there and wash out all of your brush strokes that you put in there. We don't want to do that. So just very lightly using the side of my marker so it covers a little bit more space. And then I'm catching this little bit of part around the eyes, and then we're going to fill in this little area right here. So cute. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing here, and I'm using the side of my marker, and I'm just going up and down and filling in that anywhere where there's white. Again, this is using really light pressure. I'm barely putting any color on there, but just a little bit. Same thing with each leg. And then each foot, I'm going to do a little bit more of a circular motion to blend those colors together. I don't want the feet to look quite as furry as I want everything else. There we go. Tail's the same way. We're going to follow the way the fur is, so we're staying in that angle that we did. And then we have this adorable little cat with a whole lot of fur going on there. You see all that fur? You can do a beard exactly like this. So you can use this same technique for doing beards on a guy, so, or on gnomes, or on whatever you like to color with beards. I'm going to put a little bit more of this pink just on the nose. I don't want it in the ears, but I do want to darken the nose a little bit darker than it was. Now, that does our cat's outfit, or fur, skin, whatever you want to call it. But I see this one spot that needs just a little bit more in it, so I'm just going to go to the end too, because I don't want to make this too powerful, but it looks like you can see where I started and stopped right here. So I'm just going to come in here and do a few extra brush strokes just to kind of smooth that out a bit, just so it's going to look a little bit better. I'm not sure if I just didn't go far enough with my brush stroke or not, but we're going to go over it one more time with the N0. This is the one that blends it together. We just do a really light touch, and we're going to do the same thing just to make sure that all meets up the way it should, and when it dries it'll be smooth and it'll match the rest of the cat. So I think that looks a little better. I could see that you couldn't see as much. Like now it looks like it all blends really well, where before it looked like there was a little missing spot there, and I didn't want to have that. So that's how you fix that. I'm going to move those markers off to the side, and we're going to grab the green ones so we can do the eyes. I don't do a lot of detail in these type of eyes because they're so tiny. But because the cat is looking up, I'm going to give the cat more dark on the bottom and more light on the top. So I'm using G28, YG17, and G24. So this one is G28. And I'm just putting a whole lot right there at the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. There we go. Looks a little funny, but we'll get there. I like when I do the eyes to have a little bit of that yellow when I do green, so I'm doing YG17. And this is going to be for the medium, not the highlight. This is just going to be to extend that G28 and kind of lighten it a little bit for the lightest color that's coming next. It's like the transition color, because it's just not going to go from this G28 to G24 very easily. So we have that, and then we have G24. This is going to be really light. If it's not light enough, we might grab that G00 just to make them look a little bit more glassy, because I'm going to want them to look very bright. So I'm just going to do some back and forth at the top. Yeah, we're going to need that G00, but it makes the top part, like, look how light the top part is, and can you see how that light green really makes those eyes pop? That's why I like to have the yellow in it. When I do eyes, I like to use G00 because it pushes the color around a little bit. So I'm just going to go right along the top with this G00 just a couple of times. And then I'm going to wait and see if it moves it around enough for me or if I need to do it again. I do see that this needs to be softened a little bit. There we go. I think when we put in the multi-liner and the white gel pen, it's going to look awesome. So never judge it till you're done. We need to do the little collar. So I have V17 and V15. So 17 is the darkest. So we're going to put that over here on the edges. Ooh, I need to clean this marker. And then V15, we're going to just blend that together. And that purple is going to look super cute on there. Okay, so for the diamond, right now it looks like I didn't get the stamp as solid as I wanted it to be. So I'm just going to thicken up that line in that couple of places. So I just grabbed my 0.3 multi-liner, and I'm just going to go in there and darken the edge of the diamond because I want it to really stand out. And it doesn't right now. Here we go. So now you're going to be able to see it just a little bit better. Oh, you like the eyes? Yeah, let's do the eyes. So I'm going to go in there with my multi-liner. And I'm just going to color in the black pupil of the eye. Look at how much better that looks. Just the difference between that one and that one. It's like shockingly different. And we'll put the white of the eye back in there with the white gel pen here in a few minutes. But look at how cute. See, it stands out so much more. If you wanted to, you could go over the whiskers. It would probably make them stand out a little bit more, but you have that chance of, can I go over that line or not? That's entirely up to you. Look, I took the chance and it worked. I'm going to try it on this side. Hopefully we'll get it right. But if you're nervous about that or afraid you'll mess it up, don't do it. But there we go. It makes them stand out just a little bit more. I'm going to wait on the white gel pen, and I'm going to take out this wink of Stella, which always makes me nervous because it always overflows on me. But I really want it on that gem. So I'm just going to make sure it's not coming out too fast right now. And then I'm going to color over the diamond. Yep, it's working. Just going to color over the diamond so that it sparkles when we put it on the card. So you can see it sparkly. I think that's awesome. So yeah, it's working. All right. That is it, except for the whites in the eyes, which we'll do in just a minute. And now it's time to make our craft. But before I make the screen bigger and start with the crafting part, I wanted to show you guys something I talked about on the live the other night. And that is the class that I took at the expo was photo tinting. It was by Be Creative, Karen Bremer. But I thought it was super cool, and so I wanted to show it to you guys while the cat's drying. So you take your photographs, if they're black and white. Let me see. I want to show you what they look like before and what they look like after. So I have an extra set of the images so I could show you what they look like before and after, and I have to find the right one. So hang 1 second for me. There it is. Okay, so this is just a black and white photo that she showed us at the event. And then we used Spectra Noir because that's what they gave us for free in the class. And then we colored only some parts of the image. I was chatting with my husband. I didn't realize you were on. Oh, that's okay. We're glad you're here. So look at how much this picture pops when you put a little bit of alcohol marker on it. Isn't that cool? I think that's really cool. Now, the keys that I have to tell you, though, is that you do have to have these developed at a lab. You cannot print them on your own because the alcohol will just remove the black ink and you'll have a big white spot. So don't do that. But if you send them off to Snapfish or Free Pictures or whatever, and they ship them to you, it will do this. Super cool, right? It was really fun to do this, by the way. And we didn't even get through all of them in class, but what we did get through was super fun. So there was another one that I wanted to show you, and I won't show you too many, but while you're looking at this one, just looks like a plain old ordinary picture, right? And then you put just a little bit of color in it and it changes the whole thing. So you don't have to color the whole picture, and don't do people's faces, because if you do faces, it never works. But for the purposes of this little lesson that we were doing, it's really neat. I think it's really cool. And I didn't realize that you could do this, but I can tell you I will do it with mine. This is the one I really wanted to show you. So look at that. That's a picture of Mickey balloons inside a balloon. And look, you can color some of the balloons. And it just changes the whole picture. It's just so cool. Anyway, I thought that was a really cool thing. So if you decide you want to try it and you have any questions, just let me know. I will definitely help you if you have any questions. But I would say make sure you get 2 copies of it so you can test it on one, and that way you don't mess up your photos. But this is really cool. And they said you can do it with Copic markers. I haven't tried it, but we could do that with, like, let's just use this purple. This is V15. It's the same thing we just used on the cat. So you just pick one and you just color around it like this. You don't spend too much time on it. Don't go over it and over it and over it. And try to do it in like a streak of the same, like, see, don't pick up your pen, so you keep it all going, and then when you lift it up at the bottom, and you can just color it in. But see how I have streaks in there? So the way to get around the streaks is to start in one area and go around, and then move to the other and go around, and then move to the other and go around, and then end somewhere where it doesn't matter, and then you can't tell. You won't see the streaks like that. So that's why I say get 2, one to test and one to do. That way you won't mess anything up. But you can literally do it with any color that you have in your marker combination if you want. This one is G28. I would say try this. Like, just have a few pictures developed and try it. So go in there, kind of go in a circle, then go around. and then end at the bottom. And now we have green in that one. So you can do any color you want. It takes a little bit of practice, but it's super fun. And I think how cute would that be if you had like a picture of your daughter or son with the hat on and you just color the hat. Or just the hat and the top of the shirt or something, you know, that really makes it stand out. So I just thought that was a really neat thing for anybody who does any kind of albums or scrapbooking or anything like that. That would be super fun to do. So easy. Just make sure you go to a not a 1 hour photo, but a developer, and you can do it to yours. So yeah, I thought that was cool, and I was so excited to show you guys. Okay, so let's start rolling on what we're going to do. Let's do the eyes so they can dry while we're making the project. So I'm just going to put a little bit of white up here in the little eyes. And then we have this adorable little kitten. We're going to let her eyes dry while we work on the other ones. So cute. I'm going to put it aside. And we're going to use this die, but I already cut it out so that you wouldn't have to wait for me to do that. And then we're going to need a scratch piece of paper, which I think I'm going to use this one. And then I already chose my colors: purple, green, gray, and white. So those are going to be the colors that we're going to use for the card. So this, since it's going to be a Halloween card, I didn't really think orange went with the cats. So, but since we did the eyes green and the collar purple, all of this will tie into the color that we're going to make. So here's our postage stamp. Now, the next step I want to do is we're going to use this sunflowers stencils. And on the back, it tells you you need 6 shades of ink, 3 for the petals, 1 for the center bee, 1 for foliage, 1 for blue, which is like the sky. And it tells you what color to use on each stencil. Well, I'm not going to do that. I made up my own choice, but this is so you can learn how the stencils work, and then you can manipulate however you want. So they fit perfectly on the postage stamp, so that's amazing. So what you're going to see is I have put the sticker on what color I want to use on each layer. And then I have blocked off, these are the wings for the bees. And I don't want the bees to show up on my image. I just want the flowers. So I covered up the bees. Just small little spaces are covered up. And then on layer 2, I'm going to do everything on layer 2, and I'm going to use hickory smoke. And then layer 3, this is like water in the background, and I do not want to see the water. I just want the flowers. So I'm going to use black soot on this, and it's going to be the inside of the flowers. And then on this one, these are the bees I covered up all the bees and where the water is. And I left everything else. Now, some of it's leaves, so we're going to use some green there. And anything with the circle around it, I left it in black so you guys could see the circles. We're going to do the circles with our VersaFine Clair since it's black, black, black. And we're going to do these in green. So, yay. We're about to roll into this. Okay, so I'm going to flip that over. So there is an extra stencil here that you can use after you finish making everything to put this over it if you want to color the sky or the background of it a different color. The problem with that for us tonight is that we're not doing the bees, so we would have these white spots. So we're not going to use this piece, so I've written skip on it. But I do use this when I'm making the actual sunflowers. But I just wanted to explain that in case you had one. So I'm going to grab the only thing I didn't have out, which is my sticky mat right here that I use when, this mat is excellent for when you are lining up like double, triple, quadruple layer stencils, okay? Because it holds everything really tight, exactly where you need it to be. And then I have, and I'm trying to get Dale to make some more of these for the shop, but we haven't gotten them. We haven't gotten the acrylic yet, but they're probably going to come soon. These are made out of acrylic, and they're squares that will tell us exactly where to put the stencil every single time. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But those were designed by Dale, and they'll be coming. We just need to get the acrylic in the shop. They'll be coming soon. All right, so I'm going to put my mat right here so you guys can see what I'm doing. We're going to lay this one on there. We want the big piece at the top because the biggest flower's at the top and the little ones are at the bottom. And I'm just going to lay this on my mat. Just like that. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is take the first stencil, the one we talked about, that's going to be Lost Shadow, and I'm going to place it on top. And what I'm doing is I'm lining up the edge of these with that dotted line. So it should be here and here. So you can see if you have it lined up right across. And then at the bottom, it's the edge of this flower right here. Just to make sure I have it sitting on here correctly. And once I get it on there correctly, that's when I'm going to set these. So I'll put one on this side right up where this sits in there, and I'll press it down to my sticky mat. I'm going to put the other one in the other corner right here and press it to my mat. Now I won't lift these up at all till I'm totally done. I'm also going to use just a little bit of washi tape on the other two edges because this isn't actually holding the stencil down. It's just holding my place so I know where to put the next stencil. So now I'm going to grab the oxide that I want to use, which is Lost Shadow. So that's that one. Let me move this to the side and let me grab my little tray that holds my ink pad so it doesn't move all around and do crazy stuff. There we go. I'm just going to place that in there. I have a few extra brushes here, which I should just be using this. We also have these in the shop to hold your Olo markers, but it also works really good for these. For these oxide, for these. When it's laying down, they don't fall off, but me holding it, I'm not very good. I'm going to put my lid in there, and then we're going to start working on the Lost Shadow and filling in these. So it's real light. We don't want to do it too much pressure. You just want to get that real light gray in there. So you're always going to want to do the lightest color first and get darker as you layer on top. Because this first layer is going to put the most color down. So you just want to make sure. And I go in circles, but I do my circles back and forth just to make sure I get all the cracks and crevices covered. Because I don't want to miss any space, you know. I like how you wrote the color to use on the tape on each stencil. Yes. Well, I wanted to make sure I didn't mess it up when we did the live. So I went through and decided what layers they would be and what colors I'd want. And then I wrote them on there so I didn't forget. I did kind of plan for this live because this is a lot of different stuff going on here on this stencil. So I did do a little planning. Yes, great for mass production for sure.
I'm giving them a new release sneak peek.
Oh, Dale's about to sneak peek.
Here.
You guys ready? Everybody, heads up. If you're not watching, you might want to watch now.
So these are going to be the metallics resin dots.
See if I can take it out so you can see it.
So we use a metallic pigment in it. It's really cool.
So it's going to have like a metallic shimmer to it. See it? It's really neat. It's more solid than the ones we already have,
Yeah,
but it has...
yeah, these aren't clear.
They're not clear at all. They're way more solid.
So they're kind of like a metallic, like, swirl.
Do you have extra ones for me I could use on the card tonight? Do you?
Just that bag.
The one I already have? That doesn't have those colors in it.
Well, it has the purple.
It's light. Oh, this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I can use that? Okay, I'll use them on my card tonight so you guys can see how they don't show the color of the card through it. So I wanted some solid colors instead of just the other ones. So, oh, you can't see it. Did you miss it? Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to put it on the card so you won't miss it. But it's got, it's a metallic color. So the color is not a solid, smooth color. It's a metallic. So if you know what metallics are, it just has like a really iridescent like shimmer to it. It's really neat looking. So here we go. You see everything's on there? So I just lifted it up. I'm going to set it aside and we're going to pull out the next layer. These layers are way easier to do once you understand how it works. So this one, I'm going to set it inside this corner and this corner. See how it just matches up? I don't have to worry about whether it's sitting on there right. I know that it's right now. It is very cool. It is very cool, Meg. I love it. But you're right. The camera just doesn't show it as well as it is. But when he made it and brought it over to me, I was like, what? He actually tried like every color in the rainbow, I think. And I have like 2 bags of all different colors and we can't produce them all at one time. But, so I can't show you the other ones, but when on Friday, we're doing the release video. No, it'll be here. We're going to do, I think we're going to do the release video on Friday. So you guys will be able to see what's coming on Saturday morning. And you'll be able to see it better, I bet, on that video.
Well, we'll post a picture of it on Facebook after the live, so you can get a better idea of what we're producing.
But we want to give you more options because what we have just isn't quite enough, and we just can't have enough. You know, we gotta have more. Okay, hickory smoke is next. This is layer 2. So I'm going to start filling this one in. It's a little bit darker, so now I can kind of see if it's filling it all in. There are some little spots on here, so I definitely want to make sure I'm going in all directions to get them all filled in. So all directions and go around. It's not hard. I don't need a lot of pressure. I just need to make sure I get enough ink on there. He is very talented. He is very talented. He is really good. I have been asking him, are we going to do some new? Are you going to have some solid colors? Are we going to have this? Are we going to have that? And he's like, yeah, eventually, you know. And I've been asking him for a while. And then all of a sudden he comes up and he goes, hey, check these out. What do you think of these? And I was like, well, I mean, why didn't you, how come, I mean, I've been asking. I thought you weren't going to do it. And he was like, I have to feel it. So he just has to feel the inspiration. So that's why things are coming out one at a time, slow at a time. Sort of like the artwork for me. I have to feel it. It has to be something I like. Or I just can't get I just can't get it to come out the way that I want when I'm drawing it. So I guess that works for all different designers and artists. I mean, you really have to like what you're doing. Never enough. Never enough. And then I was like, I need some more. Wait, no, I don't need any blue right now. I need some more. And I was trying to think of the colors. Just because I want lots and lots and lots of colors. Okay, you ready to see layer 2? All right, I'm going to lift this up. And we're going to put layer 3 on there. I really like these stencils. They feel so satisfying every time you lift it up. Look at how cool that is. What am I using to hold my stencil? This is one of those double-sided sticky mats. I got mine at Waffle Flower, but I know they have them at other places. It's the same double-sided sticky mat I have in my Misty to hold everything down. And then these are things Dale made for me. They're acrylic liners, so it lines your stencil up for you. That's really, really cool. I love it. So layer 3, and by the way, these have a number on them. So did you see that? You can kind of see it if I hit it just right. There's a number on there, and there's also instructions that are easier to read from here, but it tells you what color to use and what area to use it in, so you can see where it says green and blue, and up here it says yellow. So I mean, there is instructions on the actual stencil, but I am changing it up, so I just put that on there so I know what color I want to make it. So yeah, I love these little thingies, and these will be coming to the shop eventually as soon as I can get Dale to get them going. Okay, next color is going to be black soot. And black soot just is never black enough for me. It's always like a dark gray. I don't know if it's just my color or the way the oxides work, but it's just never dark enough for me. It just kind of feels like a dark gray. It doesn't really feel like black. So I'm going to put that on there. Just filling in the open spaces. Making sure to go in all directions so you can make sure you have all the little spots filled in. And each time you take these layers off when you're building them, oh, it's just so gratifying because it looks so good. It's one step more. Like, you already think it looks good, and then you do the next layer and you're like, oh, that's so much better. It makes me happy. So here comes the next one. I don't get these out very often, but when I do, I like to do a whole bunch of them, unless I'm doing a live. But I like to do a whole bunch of them, which is why I wanted the names on them. That way I can do more after the live, like tomorrow or whenever. Look how beautiful that looks. So you see where we're going here. Normally you would do this in yellows and all those kinds, but Halloween is what I'm trying to go with. So I thought maybe if I made it grays, it would look spooky. So yeah, I like to try to think outside of the box. I feel like this is kind of getting us there. So this layer is a little bit more on the challenging side because I have to do 2 colors on this layer. One is I have to do green for the leaves, and I have to do black for the centers. So all I have to do is just be careful and conscientious of which color I want to go where. So I'm just going to do this one with much smaller brushes. So that is the reason that I have these brushes sitting up here. The first one we're going to do is green. That way, if I color something wrong, we can cover it up with black. But I can't cover up black with green, so we're going to start with green. I think it's easier that way. You're liking the dark flowers? Me too, girl. I mean, just think you can do that with any color. It's really awesome. So I'm just using these. I'm pretty sure these are makeup brushes, but I did get them at a local craft store. The bristles are way softer than and flimsy than the ones that are on like the rabbit hole designs. Like, I really like these brushes, but these are very soft, but they do the trick. Okay, so these are leaves, and I really want them dark. I probably should have picked a different brush for this, but I think this one will do the trick. It's just going to take a little bit. But I want them to be really dark so they match up with the black that I'm putting on this layer. So I'm kind of picking up the ink. It doesn't stay in this brush as well as it does on the other one. And I really want to only go in that area where the flowers are. That part will be black. Then this part will be green, right along here. This is the underside of the flower. Although the flower kind of looks like one of those like dead flowers because it's black. I have seen a black rose that wasn't like a dead black rose before, and it was really pretty. But I don't want there to be a really big contrast between the black flower, the gray flowers, and the green. So that's why I'm trying to make the green so dark. So these are flowers. Now these are more flower buds. So I'm going to try to do the bottom green and the top black, but no promises. They may end up all black or all green. Who knows? I don't think people are going to be looking that close to that part, so I don't really think it's that big of a deal. And I didn't want to put a whole lot more washi tape on here. So I just wanted to just cover up what I didn't want to be done. And honestly, it's okay if you get a little bit of the green in the black area, or a little bit of the black in the green area. I'm not really all that worried about it. I want these to have stems with that green. So I'm just trying to put it on the side of my brush and just kind of dot it in there, if you will. As long as it has some green, it's fine. There we go. Then over here, I think these are all flower items except for this one, which is the bottom, and this one, which is the bottom of the flowers. So same as this one. This is the part where the flower is seated in the base. So it has to be green, dark green. So I've done this stencil before, and that's how I knew what each part was. But if you don't, just do it one time in the colors they suggest, and then you'll know. You'll know for sure. But they have them circled. These ones circle to be black. The rest are supposed to be green. So they kind of tell you, and it makes it a little bit easier. So no worries about that at all. So on this one, it says all of this down here is green. It says those are green too, the buds, but that's because you would normally be doing this in yellow. So I'm not going to do them. They kind of look like they're sprouting, so I'm going to do them black. That's just personal decision. So you can do yours, whatever color you want. And like I said, these stencils are from the ton. They're a little bit pricey. It's like $20 or 20-something for these, but you can definitely make a ton with them. Ha! That's probably why they called themselves the ton. Hey, Beth. This one is also, I'm not sure. I think that's supposed to be the center. It's not circled, but I'm going to color it like it's the center of the flower. So I'm not going to do that one either. Okay, I think I have all the green. So I'm going to close the green. We're going to leave this one on here. I'm going to grab the VersaFine Clair. This one doesn't fit in my little holder, but that's okay. I'm still going to use it. I have another one of these brushes that has black in it. And I'm just going to fill it in with this VersaFine Clair. It's a very deep dark black, which I love that it's such a black color. So dark. It's perfect. This brush works a little better when you just dot it, but trying not to do those little green areas. So I want the brush to be really wet so I can just go across the edges, and it works really good. Now remember, just because those are green over here doesn't mean if I touch them with black, they're not going to turn black. They are. And this ink dries faster than the oxides, so you kind of have to do it sort of quick once you put the color on there, but it still works really, really well. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it, so. There we go. And then I'm going to do these little bushes up here at the top. Then we have one more. And this seemed to wipe off my stencil just fine. So I don't have any problems getting this VersaFine Clear off of my stencils. I just wiped them with a cloth the last time. I didn't even clean them off. Okay, so now everything is filled in. This is when you're going to get your moment, because this is going to look really cool, because this is our last step except for the outside. So, are you ready? I am super ready. Oh, look how pretty they are. That is awesome. So remember, I covered up some spots, which is not a problem. This is so pretty. So now I want to lift up these. You have to lift them up with something, because if you just pull on them, you can break them. So keep that in mind. But super handy. Can't do without them. Sticking them back in my drawer so I don't lose them. All right, now, I love the way it looks, but to me, there's too much white on it. I want a background, but I can't use the background that came with it. Otherwise, we'll have open spots. Remember, we talked about that just a minute ago? Like if I take this one and I put it here, normally you could just color in, but all these areas that have bees will have big white spots there. That kind of bothers me. And on top of that, I really want the outside of this to have purple too, not just the inside windows. So we're just gonna wing it, okay? This is the way I roll. You guys know me so well. And we're gonna wing it with Villainous Potion, because why not, right? So I really like this, and I think you could do it and use it just like that. But I want there to be just a little bit more. So I'm going to use this brush, this Rabbit Hole Designs brush that I have, and I'm going to go and just color all of the areas around the outside and in between all the images. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's okay if some of the edges are colored on the flowers, just so long as I get this color in there a little bit everywhere. I just want that purple because, well, you guys know, I mean, I love purple. So I'm going to do everything purple. I did that one just a little bit dark, but that's okay. I mean, it's Halloween, so come on, no problem. And don't worry about getting it on the sticky mat. You can clean the sticky mat just in the sink with, do you use soapy water, honey, or do you just use warm soapy water, and it just cleans it off? So you don't have to worry when you're doing it on this sticky mat, and it holds the paper still, so you don't have to worry about it ever moving. I love that because I don't like worrying about whether it's going to move or not. It's just when you put the ink on this, you want to start off and then go on to, and I'm just going to go right over top of the green so I can get in between like all these little spots right here. I don't think this green is powerful enough at that point to like cover anything up that matters. So I just don't want to go too far over the gray because I don't want to change the grays. I want them to stay. But I'm okay with going over the greens, and I'm okay with filling in just these little white areas. I think it's still going to look good. I just, thank you. I just want to really get this color in there, just kind of all around. It kind of leaves a little bit of a glow to it. I sort of like that. kind of haunting looking. And you never know if you're going to like this or not until you try it. So sometimes I say just bite the bullet, check it out, see if you like it. If you don't, do another one. It's not that hard. Normally doesn't take that long if you're not explaining all the steps and stuff. So I don't hesitate to do it a little more often. I usually do a couple at the same time. I even have some of these already cut. I die cut a whole bunch of them at one time, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. And I'm just coming in here and hitting just a few extra spots that I want to be a little bit darker than the rest, like where the big white areas are. And then the ones closest, I'm just going to leave them alone. So I like this. I feel like I need just a little bit more along that side because I felt like it was a little bit too white up there. But this helps knock off that white. I'm going to say goodnight. I'm having a bad night. Oh, I hope you feel better soon. I'm sorry you're having a bad night, but you can watch the replay if you want to see how this one turns out. Don't worry about that. Go rest. So I like the purple. What do you guys think? I think it's really cool. I like it. All right, we're finished with that particular step. I will have Dale clean this one this time. I don't clean it between every one, but that one had quite a lot, so I think we're going to clean it. All right, so the next step, remember I said we were going to need an excess piece of scratch paper? That's going to be our next step. So we're going to leave out our VersaFine color. Oh, yeah. I know. I hope you're doing okay, Diana. I know that is so bad. I hope you guys feel better super soon. Super fast. Okay. Now we're going to use the spider webs. Okay. When I do this, I'm going to take the top of this and I'm going to put it over a white paper because I don't want to stamp this line on my image. I just want to go below the line with all the stuff. So I'm gonna manually line this up. You could do it with the Misty, but for time saver, I'm gonna just do it like this. So I'm gonna start kind of off of the page and I'm just eyeballing this. I have no fear. Ta-da! So what we have is spider webs at the top. I'm going to do a little bit more on this edge over here. And I'm going to add one more to the end. And that's why the paper's underneath. Because, you know, it's going to get all over that too. And then I want to put a few of the spiders, like a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side, something like that, so I have some extra extra spider webs in through the flowers. I like to clean this off if I get too much ink on it so it doesn't smudge when I'm stamping. So I'm just going to wipe it off real quick. Okay. Now I'm going to put some on this side. So I'm just going to ink up this side of the stamp, like about halfway. Just like that. That looks like I missed a spot. So let me just make sure I have ink on there. And then I'm going to decide exactly where I kind of want that to be. And I'm going to put that line on the dotted line. If I can. I'm going to try. We'll see how well it turns out. You never know. As long as I'm close, that will be great. So now I have spiders on this side. And then I'm going to put some just right down here. So this time I'm going to ink the other side. Just want to put some spiders in here since this is Halloween. There we go. Little bit more spider webs in there. So when you hold it up, see there's just a few little spiders and spider webs hanging out in these little gray black flowers. Okay, we're not done with that. We're going to need that again here in a minute. All right, so we have this ready. We have a few colors. So I wanted a background color. I thought green would be a good background color, so I picked green. I put it on there and I was like, well, I don't really like that green in between. It kind of puts too much green and looks a little bit dark. So I cut a gray one to put underneath to block those holes so the holes stay green. And then I'm going to put this green one underneath it. So it'll still keep that real light gray throughout rather than bringing it down to that dark green. So I just put that background paper in there because I think it just really helps. And then I was going to put it on purple. Well, when I did that, I felt like the green was still a little bit too bright for me. So I decided that I would put spider webs all around that edge. That way, when I layer it up, it will dull the green a little bit. So just starting at the top, I just start at the edge, work my way across. So there's one. We want to come back and put one on this end, like that. And then we're just going to go down and around. So this is, you could do this even if you weren't covering it up as a border on a card. And this set comes with, look how many this set comes with. You can make borders out of all of these. I think it'd be really cute. See? Then I only need to do like the edge of this one. Then we're going to go this side. We're going to start here and go across. And then flip it over. And we only have to stamp it like 2 more times. And I'm going to start on this end just because if I only have to do 1 or 2, I need to have the edge of the paper to do that. So I'm going to start up here. And then I'm going to just do one end of this stamp like this. And stick that right there in the corner. Now we have, look, spiders all the way around the edge. Isn't that cool? And that's a great border. You could use that for anything. You could do it on white. You could do it on any color that you want your background to be. And when I covered up, you're not going to be able to see the spiders. And that's okay, because that wasn't the point behind doing it. It was really just to dull the green. And look at how much better this looks. It really takes away from the green. It also makes it feel like those flowers are all in, they're upside down, all in the spider webs. I just think that's really neat. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing it together. So I'm going to take this one. Yes, I use paper that gets messed up. Ugh. Come on. I haven't used this glue in a while. I've been using my other one. So it's like, you didn't want to use me. Now I'm not going to work. So yeah, and if you have any border stamps, you can do the same thing with yours. Just don't hesitate. Just use them. Make sure you get all the use you can out of your stamps, because it's, you know, you bought them. You want to use them for everything that you can. Same with these flowers. It doesn't have to be a sunflower every single time. In order to use more, do more, change it up. I want this to be behind it, but I do not want you to see it. So I'm just making sure that I can't see it on the postage stamp edges on any side. And that is my goal. Perfect. And that worked out great. So I'm going to use this tool to press that down. And I just had a thought that wouldn't it be cool if we pop this up? I think we need to pop this up. So I have, I have this piece. I'm going to grab my large scissors so we can cut this fast, because it doesn't matter if it's perfect as long as it covers most of it. And then all I care about on this side is just making sure it's large enough. And let's see. Yep, that's going to work perfectly. So I'm going to take the sticky off of one side. And I bought these sheets on Amazon. So I bought them in 8.5 by 11 sheets and cut them in half. So there we go. Now I think this is going to look really good because it's going to be popped up just a little bit. So it's going to have a little bit of dimension. And I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one to this one. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here so when I set it down, I have the opportunity to move it around. If I don't put this glue on here, once this sticky stuff touches the paper, that's it. I'm done for. So this way I have some movement time. I'm going to stand up so I can really center this. Hopefully get it right the first time. Yay! Okay, we're going to flip it over. Yes, I stamped both sides. I tested it before the live. There we go. All right, and now we have our card base. So I'm going to set that aside for a second, put my card base together. So look at all the supplies. This craft world is just so big. There's room for everybody. So I used 4 different companies' 5 different companies' products tonight. The inks are one's the stencil, one's one stamp, one's my stamp. So lots of diversity, and I love that. I love when I can use everybody's products together to make amazing stuff. No reason to make new stuff if somebody already made it. It's better to make new designs than to repeat. You know, if it's already made. Okay, so there we go. Before I put all that dimension to it, though, I'm going to stamp the back just so I have it on there. Otherwise, I might forget. All right, there we go. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it on top. So I'm just going to glue that real quick. And then we're going to add our cat and our sentiment and whatever else we're going to put on there. I think I couldn't find a Happy Halloween stamp, so I don't think I have a sentiment for on here. I'm sure I have one somewhere, but in the search tonight, I did not find one. So I don't know what sentiment I'm going to put on there, so it might not have one tonight, but rest assured it will eventually have one. Now that I have a huge mess on my desk, we have to find where our cat ran away to. There it is.
You almost had a catastrophe.
I almost had a catastrophe. Yes, I did. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is so cute, you guys. I love it. All right, I think I know where I might have the Happy Halloween. I'm going to look at my word, guys, but if I don't have one, then I'll move on. But I really want to see. I think I just have Trick or Treat. I don't think I have Halloween. Well, we'll see if Trick or Treat will fit, if it will.
You do have Happy Halloween from that stencil.
I know, I do. But this will cover up, I think, too much of the front. I don't know. What do you think, hon? Do you think that would work? I don't think I have Happy Halloween. What the heck is up with that? How could I not have a Halloween die? I mean, I do. I have Trick or Treat. I really only have like 2 or 3 Christmas too, so what can I say? Where's that stencil? You have a stencil? Okay, hold on.
Well, I gave it to you, so it's wherever you put it at.
All right, so I'm about to show you guys this stencil. It is not going to come available. It's an exclusive we did for a retreat coming up, but I am going to use it tonight because she did do a spoiler, so if it spoils for you, I'm sorry. Hopefully, Meg, you've already seen it. I'm going to use this scrap paper that I already had out, because why not, right? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it like this. Okay, so I need to do the bottom layer first. You guys know this because we have lots of these stencils in the shop. I'm going to start with the purple, I think. Do I want to do purple or... What do you think, hon? Purple or green or black?
Do
purple on the outside and black words? Yeah, that's what I think too. Okay, so I'm going to use the purple first just to do the base. And I don't want it to be too dark, so I'm just going to kind of put it in there a little bit. I think that this brush needs to be cleaned real bad. And I probably need more purple in my ink pad because, you know, I love me some purple, you guys. All right, and then I have to do the word happy too. So I'm going to scoot over here since I'm using scratch paper. I'm going to do happy as well. I think I let this sit out and the brush got stiff, but that's okay because Dale can clean them off. He's mastered that. All right, there we go. All right, so now we have that. And then you were going to suggest it for me. I've been trying not to use it, but I mean, I don't have any Happy Halloween. I bet there's some in a stamp set I have somewhere, but off the top of my head, I can't think of where that would be. And I usually dyes are my go-to. So when you line this up, you can see the color through the stencil. So just line it up with that border. Hold it still and just put the other color in the words. This is how all of our word stencils work, and we have 3 different sets, not this one, but we have 3 other ones with lots of different words on them, and you can do this very same thing with them. So don't forget, those are in the shop and you can use them. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off since it's going to be wet and I don't want to smear it up while I'm doing the other one. So I'm just going to cut it off of that so it can dry a little bit. And then I'm going to put this one over top and center it just like that. And then I'm going to add this one. It's usually pretty easy to get it. I just go back and forth to make sure I get all the little cracks and crevices so everything gets filled in. And lift it up. It's super fun, and you could even sit around and make these and then save them like I do. I mean, I haven't done this particular stencil, but I do have a bunch of the other ones already cut out and ready to go in case.
And if you do a sheet and have a scan and cut, you could just slide it in. And
yep, and it works with the scan and cut. The scan and cut will go around and cut it out for you if you have a brother scan and cut. It works with that as well. So that's really great. I'm going to put my stuff back in here. And then I'm just going to start with this one since it was drying already a little bit. And I'm going to cut it out. The only reason I think it might not be totally dry is because I think that VersaFine Clair takes a little bit to dry, but by the time I get around this, it'll be dry. So I usually just cut it out. You don't have to be real detailed. I do have a Brother Scan and Cut. If I'm worried about that, I'll just use that. But as long as you get like somewhere close, nobody's really going to pay attention to that. I mean, with those gorgeous flowers on that card, it's so pretty that people aren't going to specifically be looking at how detailed you cut out your sentiments. So don't worry about that. Don't sweat the small stuff. My dad used to say that to me all the time when I was little. Don't sweat the small stuff. I should put that on a stamp set. That's kind of a good word. This would be a little easier if I weren't trying to not touch it. I could probably do it a little faster, but I don't want to smear it because I really do want to use it on this card. There we go. And then you can cut it on the line or you can leave the border. Since there's white on the card, I think that it looks better with the white border on there. This one looks like it's dry already, so I'm going to do this one just a tad bit faster. But these really don't take that long to cut out. I mean, honestly, just wiggle your...
If they really want to get fancy, they can use paste for the words.
Oh, yeah. Paste, glitter paste, regular paste, paint. I mean, it doesn't have to be oxides, ink, paint, texture paint. Anything you want. It's a stencil. You can use it just like any other stencil. So you could make your words sparkly or whatever you want. We can make our words sparkly too with our Winka Stella we have out. I think I'm going to put some of that Winka Stella on the flowers when we get done, but I want to wait till the whole card's done before I do any of that.
It would be interesting the way that you did it with the VersaFine.
Yeah.
Do it with the VersaFine embossing ink and then put the embossing powder over top of it.
Yeah, I haven't tried that yet, but that's a great idea. Did you guys hear what he said? He said use the do embossing powder with the top layer, the actual letters, not the shadow. And use the Versamark and then put powder over it. And you could emboss the top layer of that. And that would be super cool too.
But be sure to wash your brush immediately afterwards.
Yes. Okay, so... Oh, this is perfect. I'm so glad that we did that. Yay! This is exactly what it needed. Good call, you guys. So I'm just going to stick this down. Maybe. I hate it when I get a little...
Yay me for my stencils.
A little... Yes, yay you for these awesome stencils. I love them. So I don't want to cover up that spider. I just like him there. So I'm going to put this happy underneath that spider. I kind of want him on there. And then I'm going to use my Halloween. And I'm going to put it right here. And if you had any mistake on your stenciling, this is where you could cover it up. I'm just going to press this down with my soda press just to make sure it gets a good hold on there. And then I'm going to put my cat down. Now this, I think this would look really cute with that, with another cat in the cat set. I'll show you in a minute. I mean, I like it with this one, but yeah. I just kind of see it with the other one. Like this sneaky one that looks like it's hiding in the flowers would be really cute, even if you did like 2 of them. And then this one, if you colored it black, it kind of looks like a black cat from Halloween. So I just think that's, look at how pretty that is. Oh my goodness, you guys, that was so much fun. You guys are going to have to try that. I'm pretty sure you have something related to that in your stash.
Or if they wanted to pair this stencil with like Sassy Club's Wednesday stamp.
Yes, that's true too. Okay, so here are the purple. Let's try these again so you can really see them.
You probably want to put it on a white piece of paper.
I'm going to. I'm getting out the ones I need for the card. Just hold tight a minute, mister. impatient. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Need 5 of them in there. You're gonna need to give me my little pour tray back, mister. Okay, so let me grab a little bit. This is what all white, so let me show you what these look like.
Oh, these are gonna look different.
Yeah, these are not as dark as the ones that he has in the package. They're a little bit darker than this. This was the first run where he did it in a different process, but you can still see that they're metallic. They're not like the other ones that we have in stock. So the other ones we have in stock are usually like this. They're clear with just a little bit of color on them. This one is more solid. So when you put it on the card, it doesn't show the card through like this one does.
Here.
So I want it, oh, here's the actual ones.
Careful.
Oh, good, you're not.
Don't use those.
Don't use them, just show them?
Show them.
Okay, hold on. Let me pick it up if I can. This is the actual product. See how much darker that is? And can you see, if I hold it up close, can you see the swirl in it? Like the pearlized swirl in there. Super cool. When you put them on the cards like that, you can't see through them like you can see through the other ones. So this will be more of a solid color. That is coming this weekend. Where's my tidy pour? This would go faster if I had it. Is it still over on your desk?
Yeah.
We have our own desks in the craft room. Okay, I am going to use these because, you know, I always get the, what do you call these, honey?
Prototypes.
I always get the prototypes. I never get the real stuff. So here goes my prototypes. I'm going to actually use them because I just can't throw away any of this stuff. I have to have everything. So I'm going to put one up here for sure. Oh, I need more glue than that for this big one. So I'm going to put that one right there. Then I'm going to put one over here. Then I'll put the big one over here. Then we'll put one here and maybe one up here.
Yeah, these are the cold cast versions, but I'm still working on the production process.
These are still the kind of a little bit of the prelim. He's got a couple more tests he wants to run, and then the actual stuff will be ready this weekend for the release. He does a lot of testing on this stuff, you guys, to make sure that it's gonna be what you expect and what it should be and all that good stuff. I'm gonna add just a little bit more there, and then I think I want the other one to go like right here. I think that makes 5. The bigger one I'll put up here. The smaller one I will put, I don't know why these, you would think these would pick these up, but they just don't. When they're flat on the ground. Okay, and then the easiest way to press them down is just to use your soda press. To me, that just works the best. It's just easier that way. But you can do it with whatever tool you have. But look, you can see them. They stand out just a little bit more than the other one. Yeah, it glimmers. It's pretty. I like the deep color. But here is, I love this card. I hope you guys love this card too. It was a lot of fun. So there's Wink of Stella, see it sparkle on the gemstone. And if we wanted to, we could add a little bit more maybe to the flowers. Just kind of randomly in there a little bit. Just so they sparkle.
Look, I'm working out tests.
Yes, he's working on testing. Y'all, he's not very good at holding secrets. Even at Christmas time, he's like, I got a Christmas present. You want to see it now or you want to wait for Christmas? I'm like, I want to wait. Then he'll ask me like 3 more times. Do you want to see your Christmas present now or do you want to wait? Like, he doesn't like to wait. So I'm just kind of putting it around the light colors of the flowers just so there'll be a little bit more sparkle to them. And I think that will make them even cuter. So the shimmer and glimmer on this card is amazing. I hope you guys like that. I hope if you have stamps like this, you'll try it. Try in black and white. You never know. The soda press, yes, I know. It's a must-have for sure. I can't live without mine. But I even like how those spider webs look around the edge. I think it takes the green was kind of a little overpowering, and I wanted the purple to be more powerful, so I kind of like it. I hope you guys like that. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. I showed you a lot of stuff tonight, so hopefully you learned something that you'll try with your cards in the future. I will upload this video to YouTube tonight, so if you want to watch the replay, see how it was done, or go over anything that we went over, you can certainly do that. If you're watching it on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We are trying to grow the channel, and we appreciate your help. Those who showed up and hung out with me tonight, thank you so much. I love you guys. I'm super glad you guys came by to hang out with me. And oh, here's what I finished. I know I showed the before it was done, work on progress on my desk today. And if you guys have any questions ever, just send me a message. Hi, Timothy. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have. I hope that you guys are enjoying this. Be ready. There's a release on Saturday, and I am super excited to share it with you guys.
It's a wonderful release.
It is a wonderful release. So I can't wait. I might, as soon as I have some cards 100% completed, all the images are colored and they're just off screen. You can't see them, but they're over there. Once I have a couple of cards completely done, then I will do some sneak peeks, and you guys can try to guess from the little clip of the card that I show you. So that will be coming, and then on Friday we will have a release video so you can see all the new things that are coming out in our shop. We won't always have so many new things coming out at one time, but we have to build our shop. So for now, there'll be extras coming out. And then, yeah, some more paper, more stamps. Woohoo! Can't wait. I'll see you guys on Thursday at 8 Central. And then again on Thursday, I'll tell you what time on Friday. And I will go live Friday evening to show you all the other goodies. Thank you. Love you guys. See you on Thursday. Good night.